All right, let's continue this masterclass. On this video, we're going to be talking about how to find the right TEDx events. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Ryan. I created a TEDx event from scratch, so I've seen the speaker selection process. I was doing it. I've seen what works and what almost works. I've helped 15 other people, actually just 16 or 17. I just heard a couple from today. Let's say 16 other people get booked on TEDx Stages. And I also delivered a TEDx talk myself, and it was my first talk ever. So I've seen the TEDx process from every conceivable angle. Today, we're going to be talking about selecting the right events. So why does this matter? Well, if you choose the wrong TEDx event, they may completely ignore your pitch, right? So either it's in the wrong place, or it's the wrong time, or they don't have live speakers at all. Right? You may speak on a small stage and look like an amateur, and people will think like that looks like a kind of a fake TEDx event and doubt your credibility. And you cannot take that content down once it's online. It's there. You don't own the YouTube channel. It's the TEDx YouTube channel. So we don't want to do that. Or you may talk at an event that doesn't film your talk at all, so your message cannot spread. And if you ever try to tell somebody that you did a TEDx talk, they're not going to believe you, because the first thing anybody is going to ask is, oh, cool, can I see the video of your talk, right? And so the whole thing ends up being a waste of time, even though you put a lot of effort into the talk itself, even though you had to put in all this effort and time and whatever to land a TEDx talk. It could end up being sort of not useful at all, right? So we don't want to do that at all, okay? For example, here are some crappy looking TEDx stages. If you speak on a stage that looks like this, frankly, you're going to look like an amateur and it's not going to be good. There are much better TEDx stages. I will show you some examples of those. There are plenty of great TEDx stages. In my mind, there is absolutely no reason to ever speak on a poor TEDx stage. And of course, we want to increase our chances of getting booked. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today in terms of how to find the right events that are the most receptive for speakers and are the best quality. So ultimately, here's our criteria. Here's the overarching criteria. We need a TEDx event that are actually happening. There are some times where an event will get licensed and the organizers decide not to hold the event, right? So we saw that happen in COVID, where there was a number of events that got postponed. So that's one thing. We need events that have live speakers. Some events will only show pre-recorded TED videos. They will not have actual live speakers standing on stage with the microphone. So that is one criteria. We need events that are receptive to getting pitched for speakers. So if you apply after they've already finalized their speakers for the particular event, then that's the wrong time. If you apply in the sweet spot where they're actually looking for speakers, that's good. But if you apply too early, maybe it's a week after the event just happened, and maybe they're starting to kind of think about the next event, but they're not really seriously thinking about it. So, if you pitch them and it's too early, you might also have your pitch ignored, even if it's a great message. And we need events that film their talks so that you can leverage the talk. You can have it on your your Facebook page, your LinkedIn, your website, and your funnel. You want to be able to show people that you actually delivered a TEDx talk. And you want non-crappy stages, right? You don't want to look like an amateur. You want to look like a pro. And, it's like publishing a book with a great looking cover. You want a great looking cover. You for sure don't have to have a perfect cover, but you definitely don't want to have an unprofessional looking book cover or spelling mistakes or what have you. It's the same thing with a TEDx talk. So that is our criteria for what we're looking for. All right. There are two methods for doing this. One way is, frankly, a bit slow and a bit frustrating. This is the way that I used to do, and this is the kind of normal way. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you an automated tool that automates the process. But first, I have to show you the process so you understand where the data is coming from. And you can choose to use a tool that I have or not. That is totally up to you. But I'm going to show you the manual process so that you understand how we can reliably find all those, like these event criteria that we're looking for. All right, so we need to look at the criteria. Oh boy, okay. So as a warning, there are times when like I have heard of stories of people that have been approached to say, hey, do you want to do a TEDx talk in this place? And the person like took time off, work, their business, and they paid for the travel, and they got there and they realized it wasn't actually a TEDx event. It was like a TEDx-like event. So there are kind of fake TEDx events. The TED legal team had to get involved in that situation because you're not allowed to use the TEDx branding or even name or even mention that it's a kind of TEDx-like experience without being licensed by TED. So what I would strongly advise you to do is at least check. If you hear about another event, ask for what the event name is called and check it through this process that I'm going to show you, because there are times when it's a fake event or like it really shouldn't be licensed at all. And in that case, even if it is filmed, that video will never make its way on the TEDx YouTube channel because it's not a TEDx event. Right? TED owns the TEDx YouTube channel, and you don't want to get involved with a fake TEDx event. All right, so event types. Criteria number one, I'm going to show you how to find these in a second, but let's start with event types. I have done an analysis of 130,000 TEDx talks. I had a computer programmer extract all this information for me, and standard university and TEDxWomen events perform the best. They perform about twice, videos from these events perform about twice as good as library, salon, youth, and any other event type. These other event types tend to be really small stages filmed in like high schools or, gymnasiums or whatever. And they often don't film talks. So I honestly don't think it's worth your time at all looking at these. So let's look at where to find TEDx events. This is the manual way, man. Okay. So TED has a directory, ted.com/TEDx/events. And this is every licensed TEDx event. There are two tabs. One is past, one is upcoming. Past is the ones that just that have happened before. It could have happened yesterday or even earlier today, and all the way back into the past. These events may happen again. So you can see this event happened on the 30th of March, 2022. And it's highly likely this one will happen again, probably in March of 2023, but it just happened. So it hasn't been licensed for the next year yet, right? Similarly, all these other ones you can see, these are all past events, and you can see the event type here. So youth, salon, university. If it's youth or salon, again, I would ignore it. University are great picks, or you could go for like standard, right? TEDx San Diego would be probably a really good one, and it will probably be happening around March, right? Or March or April of 2023. Right? Typically, these events happen on an annual rhythm. So let's look at this event list. So let's say so I'm Canadian. Let's say I wanted to speak at an event in Canada, right? So you could go up here, you could go Canada, and locations. You can see that you can search for, you can either filter for locations or you can filter for other things. So we mentioned a number of criteria. Our first criteria is event type, right? So you can see here in Canada, Guelph U in university, that's a great one, right? HEC Montreal, that's a great one, right? So our first criteria is event type. So we think, okay, maybe Guelph U is a good one. Maybe HEC Montreal is a good one. Maybe Mariapolis College is a good one. These are all like Montreal. Chilliwack, that's in BC. So let's say you start to look at that, right? Now, here's our first problem. And we're going to talk through these criteria. Our first problem is I'm recording this video in late March. And so this is an event in early April. They have their speakers already, right? A TEDx event will select speakers months in advance. So while we have our first criteria, which is event type, right? So university, standard, and TEDxWomen events, what we don't have is time, right? So we need to make sure that we reach out to an event with enough time to actually apply so that they're receptive to you pitching. TEDx Guelph U, if it's an event happening in a couple of days, I'm telling you right now, there's almost nothing you can say to them that's so utterly amazing that they will book you as a speaker a couple of days before the event. It's just too high risk for them. It's way, way, way too high risk. So criteria number 1 is event type. Criteria number 2 is timing. So I'm actually going to get rid of these. Okay. Generally what I recommend, so the event that I spoke at happened to be in June, and I had to apply for that event by, I think it was like the end of January. So it was early June, so about 5 months, right? So all of February, March, April, May, 4 months. Yeah, so like at least 4 months before the event. So generally what I recommend is about 6-ish months before the event is a good rule of thumb, or at least you're pretty much guaranteed you're fine. So okay, so right now I'm recording this in late March, so that's then late April, late May, June, July, August, September. So we're if we start looking around August-ish, that should be enough time. And you can see September, so these are all sort of by date, right? So September 1st, 2022, we don't want studio, we don't want youth, but this university one in Sault Ste. Marie, Whistler, Western U, right? So we're seeing these. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, again, there could be events here happening in Canada that are past events that happened. Let's say they happened in February, right? February of 2022. They'll probably be happening again. So TEDx UBC, we didn't see that events here before, but it's probably happening around the same time. So that could go on our potential event list, right? Calgary, that's where I'm from, is in March, early March. All of a sudden now we have a ton more events that happened like last year, or in the last couple of months, that just haven't been licensed for the next year yet. So these are all our events, right? So now we have a number of events that are the right event types, that are the right timing as well, right? So that's 2 criteria down that we have. So let's park our thought here for a second. Okay, so we need that. Okay, so we talked about this. Okay, so timing. We talked about timing. Again, about 6 months out is normally plenty of time. If it's anything less than like 3 to 4, it's getting kind of tight, right? It may work, but it's getting kind of tight. And more than about 9 to 10 months out, oftentimes the events. So if we're looking at the events that happened in like this March or just this past coming February, those are so far out that honestly, the event organizers, they're probably not even thinking about the next events yet. So about 6 to 9 months is about the sweet spot, generally speaking. So that is now those 2 criteria down. Now we need quality, right? So is this event actually good, or is it kind of going to be a crappy stage? There are a number of things that I use. The most reliable one, the easiest one, is a website. If it doesn't have a website, for sure, it's probably crap, or it's a brand new event and they haven't really started this kind of serious organizing process yet. And so once they have a website, that's when I start to actually look at it, right? So that's one. At least one past event, right? If it's a brand new event, again, we don't know if it's going to be good or crappy. And then also I look at past videos on YouTube. That makes sure has been filmed in the past. And we can also see the stage and what it looks like to make sure that it's a good event. And there's another one here that I'll show you all of these, how to find these. The TED process, they license their events. And if you haven't, as a TEDx organizer, if you haven't attended the main TED conference, they limit your audience size to 100 people. Whereas if you have attended TED or TEDwomen or whatever else, then you can have like 500 people or 1,000 people in the room. So there are some events that are like this, and I'll show you how to find this. So first is website. Let's look at our sample events. So we have TEDx Sioux College. It's in Sault Ste. Marie. It's got a funky French Canadian spelling. So all I do, sometimes you will see the event's website listed here. So let's see if we can find some. Whistler, no. UBC, no. Let's see if one of these ones, okay. Sometimes you'll see it here and sometimes you won't, okay? So let's start with Sault College. I just Google it and I see the first result is from TED.com. So that's not what I want. And then this one is TEDxSaultCollege.com. And let's see what we have here. All right. Oh my goodness, this is taking a little while to load. Let's try another one while we wait. So Whistler. With that. Okay, so TEDx Whistler, first result. All right, fantastic. So this is an interesting TEDx Sault College. This website is taking forever to load. It may have a problem with it. It's probably not a good sign if the event's website is taking forever to load. Obviously, right? I probably would disqualify this event just for that. But Whistler, now all of a sudden we have a cool looking website, right? So now, okay, we have a website. Fantastic, right? That's one criteria. Next criteria is, are these events, are these talks filmed? So the way to do that is to go to the TEDx Talks YouTube channel and then search for the event name in this little search box. So we can see the actual videos from TEDx Whistler, right? We can see exactly what they look like. You can verify like TEDx Whistler here.
If you want to transform your body.
Okay, we're gonna get into that. But again, obviously you can see the actual stages here and verify it's a pretty good stage. So that's one criteria for TEDx Whistler. And then the other one too is we can see if this event is likely to have more, or is able to have more than 100 people in the room. Now we can see the event organizer's name. It's Anoop. And we can see that Anoop has attended a TED attendee. See this little flag thing here where my mouse is? You can see that. So she's been to TED 2022 and TEDxWomen 2021. Now, this means this event can have more than 100 people in the room. Now, let's contrast this with, let's just try another one and see. TEDx Calgary, that one, maybe, oh, let's see. So TEDx Calgary is the same. So Raheem has been to TED. And let's click on another one just for kicks. Let's try to find one that's not Happy Vale Avenue. I've never heard of that one. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this one, you see, this one doesn't say TED organizer on this event, right? So this is an indication that this event will be absolutely limited to 100 people in the room. So the other events we looked at, like Whistler and Calgary, will be larger events. I can tell you right now, they're going to be larger events than this one will be. It's most likely anyways, right? So, all right. So we got that. Let's look at, so we looked at having a website that's a Google search, at least one past event. I'll show you how to do that. We looked at past videos on YouTube, and we looked at this organizer has attended TED. Now let's look at past events. So we can see on this page here, we can see this link. It says see more TEDx Happy Vale Avenue events. We click on that link and we can see the number of upcoming events and the number of past events for this one. So we can see this has only happened one time, and it was December 24th, 2021. If we look instead at Sault College, let's see what that one says. Again, we're checking the same link. It's got one event happening upcoming in September. And okay, this event here in Sault College is a first time event. So this is highly risky. We're not going to know if it's filmed or not until after it happens, right? And so it's a bit risky, whereas I bet Whistler's happened a number of times. Okay, let's go back to Whistler and let's see. Okay, so there's they have a studio event happening in September and a standard event happening in October. You'd want to apply for the standard one. And we can see, okay, this has happened in a couple of times, right? So we can see this one is a simulcast. This is different, but it's happened in 2010. Oh my goodness. And 2021, right? So it's happened a couple times before. And Anoop, the organizer of this one, has attended TED. So this one would be a great event. And we can see on YouTube that we can see what the stage looks like a cool stage, etc. So that is how you would see the number of past events. It's by, I'll do this again. It's on this page, this event page. You click on the see more blah, blah, blah events, right? And then you can verify the number of past events and you can see how many times it has happened before. Okay, that's the number of past events. You want to go with, at minimum, an event that's happened at least one time before so that you can see if it's filmed or not filmed, period. Okay. So we talked about indicators of quality, website. TEDx Whistler had a great website. The other one didn't. One past event. We looked at one event that had no past events, and we saw another one that did have past events. We saw how to look for past videos on YouTube, and we saw how to figure out if the organizer has attended TED, which will be the biggest audiences. Now, this last one here, whether or not the organizer has attended TED, is I would say that's kind of optional, because if they have great videos of the event, you can still have an amazing video even if there's 100 people in the audience. The event that I organized, we put out great videos. We had a couple that reached over 1 million views, and you would never be able to tell based on the video itself, the stage, how many people were in the room, because we had a big room that was really impressive looking, and we just put all the people in strategic places so that it looked like it was totally full. So as long as the video is a great quality video, this is more optional, but it is an indicator you can look at. So again, let's summarize our recommended event criteria. This is true regardless of who you are. So standard, university, or TEDxWomen events only. I would avoid library, salon, youth, or any other event type, because they're often small and they often don't film talks, right? Aim for events that are 6 to 9 months away, that have a website, that have at least one past event, and go and check on YouTube on the TEDx event channel that they film talks. I will put all the events or the links that I talked about below, so you can do this yourself and you don't have to write down the links. So again, to summarize method number 1, you're going to first check TED's website. You're going to figure out the right event type and the right dates. That's both on the upcoming and the past tab. Then you're going to check to see if the event has occurred before. Then you're going to check Google to find the website, Facebook page and things like that. And then also verify on YouTube that they film talks and make sure that the stage is up to your standards. Now, there's a couple of downsides of method 1. This is very time consuming. So it even though I know what I'm doing, it still takes me a while to click through and figure out, Google the name and see if there's a website. And then also click through and find all the events in the right time frame. And also, events are always changing. So you will have an event that just occurred that it gets licensed by TED at some point for the next event. And so this list is always being updated. You have to keep on checking again and again and again, which is kind of annoying. And there are some events that do, and they shouldn't do this, but there are some events that do the speaker selection deadline even before they show up on the upcoming list. So it could be still on the past list. So that is a downside of method 1, is because you could miss a lot of opportunities, and it is very, very time consuming. Now, I want to show you another method, and I developed this method because I was annoyed at method 1. And it was just taking too long for my clients because I help people become TEDx speakers. And this process of figuring out what events and when and whatever else was just very, very annoying. So this is an alert tool that I had developed for me. I pay a computer programmer to do this for me. And so what this is, I will show you what this is. It's the events in spreadsheet format, so you can filter and sort for the right event criteria in your location. You'll get email alerts when there's an event to apply for in your area. It's less than $17 a month. It's an annual plan for that. So I will show you how that works here. All right, so this is an example dump of that spreadsheet. So as you can see, we have a list, right? What this allows us to do is filter for multiple criteria at the same time. So if you're in, let's say you're in the United States, and you want to find events in the United States, and you want to find standard women university, right? You see this flag is that the organizer, a TED attendee, that's there. And again, what we do with this tool does is it goes to Google and searches the event website for you. So what we can do is we can find just the events that have websites. Now all of a sudden our list is very compressed and very useful. We also find the contact email address if it's found on the website. We find the Facebook page, Twitter, the theme for you, and the number of past events. So what you can do here is say, well, you know, really I don't want to have, I only want to have events that happen at least once before, or maybe at least twice before. And again, you can filter that out, right? As you can see the number of times each event has occurred. And you have the link so you can see, like, let's say I want TEDxUNC, right? I can click on YouTube, this link here, and I can see exactly what the videos look like. So Kenmore Square, I can see these are all the links, or all the videos rather, for Kenmore Square, right? Never heard of Kenmore Square, but I can see the actual data here of what the event looks like. Now, so first, what I would do is I would get this spreadsheet and apply for a handful of them right away. Again, you can see the dates, so I can see the date in this column. So you can search for, like, maybe you only want from mid-August and onwards. You're going to be looking for these events primarily, right? Just do these ones. What you may notice, though, is, like, let's say you really want to get hyper-focused. You say, what I really want to do is I want to know instantly when there's a new event in, I don't know, Virginia, right? Wherever you happen to live, right? Or the local handful of states. What I also have is alerts, the email alerts. So this is what they look like. Okay. So you get one email that has everything you need in the same email. Right, so you can filter. What I have is when you sign up, you can specify which states or which areas you want to get TEDx alerts for, and then you will only get alerts when there's a new event of a certain event types in your area. So the event details here. I need to stop typing on here, and then you have, like, all the website and things like that all together. I also do a search on YouTube for you and include a picture of the stage. So this one here, like, so some of them, some events, the videos tend to get more views. So I figured that out for you. And again, this is just based on searching on the internet, and this is all automatic, right? And you have the spreadsheet often updated as well. So this is what this is. You'll get this, and you'll get the spreadsheet. This makes it way, way, way easier to find the right events. And just like I use this for my clients. I have in the past only had it available for my paid coaching clients. And now for people that are already ready, they want to just start applying, right? Like right now, this is by far, this will save you hours and hours and hours and hours of time. So that is that. I will drop a link below this video. You can sign up for that. And that is how you find TEDx events. So again, just to summarize, 2 methods, right? Method 1 is checking TED's website. Then you figure out which events are the right type. And then you figure out, search for the right type and the right dates. Then you click the past events to see if the event has occurred before, right? Just make sure it's established. Then you check Google to find the website and make sure there is one, and verify on YouTube that they actually do film their talks, and take a look at, like, check the stage, just make sure it's good. And then you would apply, right? So you could either reach out to them via email, and we'll cover how to apply in a separate video, but kind of high level, you would either reach out to them via email, or sometimes they will have like a contact form or an application form on their website, right? It's the same information you would submit regardless. And so that is all possible once you know what events to apply to. That is that. If you have questions on event stuff, drop a comment below this video and I will reply to those as well.